Hi, welcome to Best Friends. Thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your company. A few things about springtime. You've all heard me go ranting about spay-neuter, and I haven't changed. I'm going to rant again, so make sure your pets at home are spayed or neutered as is appropriate. And if you need help with that, we do have a couple of grants available through the shelter. One from the Humane Society and one from SNAP, and we'd be more than happy to help you out with that. Another thing is, since it is springtime and we're starting to see an influx of kittens, not in our cat room because they're teeny tiny kittens, we're also seeing an influx of upper respiratory. This is a disease that is manageable if it is not in a shelter setting. So I need foster homes. I need foster homes that can take care of kittens that come down with upper respiratory. It's kind of a complicated disease. Treating it isn't complicated. Time makes it that way, and its level of communicability makes it complicated in a shelter setting. It doesn't have to be. We could save a lot more kittens if we had homes for them to go in where they could recover before they come back in for adoption or be adopted while they're still in foster care. So call us. A foster home project over the summer might be a great thing for you and the young ones. It might also be a great thing to do year-round, because what's better than helping out a cat that needs help? Really. Let's see, coming up in the springtime, we also have immunizations. Immunizations are something that we can supply at the shelter for the animals we place, but we can't help you with the animals that you already own. Do need to watch for your reminders from the vet to get your animals in. And remember, it is now a law in Washington that all cats, dogs, and ferrets be immunized against rabies. So take care of that little thing. It's important. It amazes me. I see people who worry about eating GMO foods, but they don't get rabies immunizations for their pets. You know, this is completely preventable with the immunization. It is absolutely impossible to cure once it is contracted. So, hey, 99.9% fatal disease or no problem at all. Hey, I don't think that's a real big decision to make. Get your pets immunized. We have lots of critters, and they're coming up now. This is a guinea pig. Some people call them cavies. We have quite a lot of them right now. I think we have, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe 9 or 10. These are very well socialized guineas. They will eat carrots out of your hand. They like being touched. They enjoy being petted. They are one of my more favorite pets. I think the thing that I enjoy most about them is that they have a terrific personality and all kinds of body language, but they never change expression on their face. Totally deadpan. And yet they can tell you worlds of things as long as you're watching them carefully. And what is a pet for except to learn from? They teach us so many lessons. and being observant is just one of them. Another big one is the joy and magic in forming a bond with a species that isn't a human. He's talking to me. These guys love to have brushing with a toothbrush. Back here. Aren't they cute? They're also food chain. So if you have a home that has dogs and cats in it, you have to be very careful of your guineas. This is, it's a rat is what it is. You can tell by the long, skinny, naked tail. No, I'm teasing. This little rat is a Japanese hooded type, which is a good pet rat. Very interested in exploring and so forth. A fairly gentle rat. I prefer the male rats myself, just simply because I'm weird that way. The ones I have known and loved the best have always been male. But a female rat is also an excellent pet. I think they tend to bond a little more completely to their one person rather than being gregarious like the males are. Rabbits are kind of like that too. But this one is a particularly nice rat, and it comes with its own house. And they're fascinating pets. My son had rats when he was small, and they lived in his bookcase and had pretty much free run of the bookcase, but were very good about not going anywhere else. And that was their territory. And their food and so forth was obviously in their little house, which we just left open. Had to make sure the door to his room was shut very carefully, though, because we had dogs and cats too. And again, this is food chain. Rodents are. Rats are very intelligent. If you've ever had an infestation of roof rats or Norwegian rats, you know that because they're just about smarter than we humans are. I think they make most of their decisions by committee, and so they have lots of consultative power there. Anyway, this is nothing like those guys. These rats are very human-oriented, and they're very safe. But they're really fascinating to watch, and it's a great way for a child to start to learn about animal behaviors. He likes his house, but she uses it more to play with than to actually shelter in. So that's also available at the shelter. Another critter that we have available for adoption right now is a couple of lovely ferrets. These are both spayed females. You have to make sure that a ferret is spayed unless you're actually running a ferret breeding operation, and why? Because the estrogen will poison them unless they breed. So as long as they're spayed, they're safe, and you have a wonderful, healthy pet that will last you a long time. Yes. Anyway, ferrets are another of my favorites. I know I'm weird, but ferrets can make you laugh when nothing else in the world can make you laugh. They're great for a depressive personality, I've found. Anyway, they're little clowns. They do have kind of a stinky problem, but if you keep their cage immaculate, they don't. And you definitely do not want to have a ferret if you have birds or rats or guinea pigs, because these guys are the consummate hunters, even more so than a cat. I mean, that's why they were originally domesticated in Egypt, was to keep the granaries free of rats and mice. But in the meantime, they turned into wonderful pets. They are a lot of fun. They are also little thieves and will steal things like swim goggles and potatoes, and you never know what happens to them until you move the furniture and find them all. Anyway, great pets. These little ones have just had their distemper immunizations. The law also requires that ferrets be rabies immunized. Ours do have distemper immunizations. It may be up to the adopter to acquire the rabies immunization. Yes. This fella has more personality than a cat body can contain. He is a beautiful cat. He has an incredibly plush coat, and he is the consummate predator. This guy will chase down birds, he'll chase down rodents, he'll chase down anything that moves if he can get to it. He hates other cats. He detests dogs, and he has the muscle power to do something about it. So he needs to be a one-pet household. And yet, he has those incredible little quirks about him, like he likes to carry his dry food over to his water and drop it in and make dry food soup out of it. And then he eats the dry food after he gets it wet, kind of like a raccoon, actually. And he loves to be snuggled and petted, loves human contact. I think maybe he's just a little species confused is the deal. I'm thinking he's pretty sure he's more two-leg than four-leg. Anyway, he is a great cat. He came in with the name Somber, and we have no idea why. It doesn't make much sense to us because he's anything but. This is a beautiful Blue Point snowshoe. Why do we call it that? Well, she's a color point cat, which people typically associate with Siamese, but there are actually a number of different types of cats that have the color point genetic features. You'll almost always see the blue eyes with it, but in the snowshoe markings, you've got white patches on the feet and maybe more white patches on the cat. She's backing away from me because she knows I have the brush. She has rather mixed feelings about being brushed. She doesn't mind it, but hey, you know, you have to put up token resistance anyway when you're a cat. I think she is an absolutely gorgeous girl. She has that wonderful little apple-headed look to her that people associate with the American Siamese rather than the Oriental body type, which is long and narrow with a shorter coat. She has a very plush, comfy coat. Her tail isn't quite as long, and she has a nice cobby build. Great cat. Doesn't much care for being held, which is typical of many cats. It's kind of an insecure position for them, but she loves to be petted. This is a super long-haired brown tabby. I was just joking with our volunteer cat lady, Wilma, about how everyone who sees the cat comes in and says it's got to be a Maine Coon. The truth of the matter is we see lots of long-haired brown tabbies that have no relationship with the Maine Coon breed. Doesn't matter though. They're just as wonderful. Maine Coons are one of those breeds that don't stop growing for 3 years, and so if the cat doesn't get any bigger after a year and a half, you're pretty sure that's not what it is. Anyway, this one is an absolutely lovely girl and very snuggling. She came to us with an absolute army of fleas that have since been evicted. She has an incredible mane on her though, and it's so strange because the hair right there around her neck is so long and then the hair on her shoulders is much shorter. So the very clear maned appearance. We believe that this is a kitty that had been given away as a kitten in a box outside Walmart. I noticed in front of the legislature this year there was a bill for preventing that kind of behavior, and I would really have loved to see that pass, because people make snap decisions about helping the animal, but they really have no ability to support the animal. It's just in that kind of retail environment, when people are already prepared to take something home, it's like the cat almost gets lumped in with the groceries. Anyway, that should be a more conscious decision. This one ended up with us pretty much that way. It was picked up and then the person couldn't care for it, they found. And thankfully they brought it here instead of having something happen to it, like being given away to someone else who had no clue, or just left out to fend for itself. So very, very nice cat. Very friendly, very cuddly. You remember the cat we were just looking at, the very long-haired, maned brown tabby? Forgot to mention that that one hates dogs. I don't mean it avoids dogs. I mean it will try to take a dog apart. So you don't want that cat in your household if you already have a dog. And before you bring a dog into your household, if you adopt that cat, think twice, because it won't be in the dog's best interest, and probably not in the cat's, really. This is Mittens. Do you have any clue how she may have gotten that name? Anyway, it's a good name for her, since she does have them. Although she has socks on the back. I don't know why socks wouldn't have worked either, but Mittens is good. She's a tuxedo. She is a lovely cat. She does enjoy being brushed, which is always a real plus for a kitty, I think. She doesn't even put up any token resistance. She just says, "Oh, more, now. I'm okay with all this." She really does like it. It's a great way to bond with your cat, too. So keeping a cat groomed can be a fun activity for both you and the cat. Such a pretty girl. Just purring away. Lovely green eyes. You missed a treat. Do you want it? Really? You know, sometimes I think cats can't see what's right under their nose. It's because of the placement of their eyes. This is an absolutely beautiful Manx, and we have no background on her. Someone left her in our night kennels, so we have no idea where she originally came from. They didn't fill out any information on her. But like every other animal that comes to us, we do the level best we can to find a good home and a good disposition for her. Easy with this one. She is she is absolutely gorgeous. Came to us in beautiful condition. Since she's a Manx, she has that little distinctive flip to her personality. Very playful, very chubby, which may not be a great thing, but isn't a bad thing either, and has a terrific coat. Where are we going? She's going to go down there and investigate those guinea pigs is where she's going. So definitely a house cat, but very lovely. Hang with us, we're going to the dogs. This is Mary, Actually, I don't think Mary has a clue what her name is unless you smell like a treat. Then I guess you could call her Meaty Bones, or just about anything that, maybe Cookie. Cookie might be a good name for this dog. She is nose driven, like most hounds. If you're a hound person, you are okay with the kind of personality and quirks that come with these guys. They are nose driven. This one is a walker hound. She was a washout in their hunting program, apparently. I don't know what kind of hunting program that was. I don't think she should be considered a hunting dog anyway, because she can't hunt much but jerky treats, right? Yeah, that's okay. She probably would do a number on any squirrels she could find, and she certainly would be very hard on a cat in your household. You don't want to do that. She definitely needs a very secure fence, because this little one is going to be out after anything that smells good. If the first time a raccoon walks through your first yard, she's going to be long gone, because these guys don't slow down until they either find what they're getting, they're looking for, or they run into a wall. That's just how being a hound works. They do have a rather odd vocalization. You know how the hounds sound. They howl and bay. They don't just bark. So with all of that in mind, I think she's a really cool dog. She's just very single-minded. Does need to go through training. You need to be able to break through that wall of I'm after food and food only to get to her houndy intellect. She has all kinds of energy. She's a friendly, loving dog. She has a very soft mouth. If you have little kids, probably jumping on them would be the biggest hazard, because she's not very mannered per se. But she does walk on a leash with our volunteers, so you know, that's a good sign. She came to us quite thin. She is adding some weight. I'm pretty sure she would add a lot more in a home environment, because a shelter is kind of stressful for a dog. And there's a lot of stimulus going on here that would allow her to run it off too. So, is a good girl. Yes, a very pretty girl. This is a 3-month-old puppy that's probably, judging from the color and the build and everything, an Australian Shepherd, German Shepherd mix, which is something that we see pretty frequently. That coat isn't typical of an Aussie at all, though, not even of a Border Collie. So we've got herding breed through and through here, which is pretty clear. Rambunctious, 3-month-old little girl. That is just adorable. So cute. Again, we found her in our night kennels with no information, so we don't have much about her really, other than she's fully adorable. Herding breeds just in general. Herding breeds in general are very easily stimulated dogs. They have a strong prey drive. They're going to chase anything that moves. They have a very deep need for exercise. They are incredibly intelligent, and they can get into more trouble than you can even imagine unless you stay one step ahead of them. I know, I've got 2 myself, and they run me ragged. They know exactly how to press my buttons, and they also know exactly how to do whatever it is that makes them happy. They don't, while they love me, I know that they do, still, it's all about the doggy objectives here. So whatever she can do to get a treat, she's going to do, which is a great thing, because you'll get her to do what you want her to, and she'll be happy about it. Appetite is a wonderful thing in a dog, but they're only going to do what works for them. And so you have to make sure that your objectives coincide that way. Sometimes I think it's an odd way to live a life, but there you go. If you choose to share it with a dog, that's what you got to do. Right? Yes, it is. What a happy little thing. Anyway, she is only 3 months old. She's going to be much bigger than this. She's also going to be more active than this. So if you consider adopting this little girl, you'll want to get her in training pretty soon. That's another herding breed thing. They sit on your feet. It's okay. Great puppy. Piercing bark could probably make your neighbor's ears bleed. So you want to discourage that. We have another herding breed. This one is a slightly different combination. This is Australian Shepherd and Rottweiler. Did you know that Rotts were originally a herding breed? They are. In fact, I know some Rotts who are exceptional shepherds. Yes, I do. This is Piglet. I can probably tell how she got that name. She's a little on the chubby side. We've known Piglet for quite a long time, actually. She is about 2 years old now, but Piglet is a right nice dog, I think. She is very, very bright. I think she would be easily trainable, although I think that she probably has had people who loved her very much, but haven't spent that kind of time with her. She needs to lose a little bit of weight. I don't think that would be hard to do because I don't think she really cares much what she eats. She'd be perfectly happy with lower calorie dog food as long as she got fed. Because you can tell that that's pretty important for this dog. With a little more exercise and a lower calorie diet, I think she'd probably shed a few pounds. But then again, that's advice I ought to take myself, and why? So, this one is already spayed. She has an absolutely beautiful coat. She needs to go into a home, though, with no other female dogs. There is some gender aggression in her background, and so we would rather not risk it. I think if there were a male dog in the household, that would probably be okay. She does, again, need a secure yard, one that's fenced, because she is, after all, a herding breed. And considering the Rottweiler in there, too, I would make sure that she just didn't have the opportunity to chase passing cyclists or joggers. She's a big dog, and whether she would intend any harm or not, even if she jumped on somebody that wasn't expecting it, she could be kind of scary. I like her. She reminds me of my old Beezus, although I don't really know why. Come see us. We're at 3120 Martin Way, and we'd love to have you. Add a dog to your life. Keeps life so interesting.